Good morning, everyone. I am Adam Duesterhaus. Not the easiest last name to pronounce, I know. And I am from Chaddock Children's Foundation, located in Quincy, Illinois. This is not my first time to Peoria. I was telling them before that I had participated in the Quincy to Peoria St. Jude run. I know a lot of you are familiar with that. So our route is Highway 24, which is what I took yesterday when I came up. And let me tell you something, it's a heck of a lot easier to drive it than it is to run it. So it was a lot of familiar parts of that road, but I'm glad I was in a vehicle this time. Folks, like I mentioned, I'm with Chaddock Children's Foundation in Quincy. Raise your hands, who's familiar with the Chaddock Children's Foundation? There in the back? Yeah, some of you are. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your support over the years. There's a lot going on, folks, on the campus of Chaddock. We serve over 400 children daily. Our TKC, our Knowledge Center, that's our publication, consultation, training, and research facility on campus. That is up and going and doing quite well. Our K through 12 school, we actually just had graduation for our seniors this past week, so that was great to see. So that's up and running, and that had a fall enrollment of over 90 kids. That's our resident students, as well as area children as well from area community schools. And then our foster care and adopt services. We serve over 300 children and families through that. So a lot going on campus. Every single day, lives are being transformed and changed for the better. But I want to talk to you about something that's probably the most important thing that we've done for our children in probably close to 10 years, since our school was built at least. But in order to do that, folks, I need to back up just a little bit to a graduation party that I had attended a few months ago. Now, I say graduation because discharge day is, not that great of a term, but graduation, it's where our kids that are residents are graduating to the next stage in life. It's where they get to go home, get to go back to their loving family. They are now fulfilled with the tools and knowledge that they need to be fulfilling adolescents or adults in the world. We have empowered them with the tools that they need, but now they get to go back into the world and face it head on with what it is that we've taught them. So this graduation party, folks, I've not been with Chaddock too long, coming up on 1 year actually, but I always like to see these moments where children's lives are literally transformed right before us. And this graduation party, it was not unlike many graduation parties. It's the middle of May, end of May now, so you've probably attended some or seen some. But, there were some tears, there was some laughter, there was a lot of stories. There were the sayings of goodbyes. This day was a celebration of this child. We'll call him Alex. Alex came to us when he was 8 years old. Came to us from a horribly abusive situation, and his foster parents brought their child literally halfway across the country from North Carolina to Little Quincy, Illinois. They had been referred to us by their therapists, and they came to Chaddock with the hope that we would get their child better. Alex had been through some very traumatic experiences in his young life. Like I said, 8 years. He had been through some horrible abuse, some horrible neglect at the hands of his then parents, his foster parents, the ones that he was now in the care of in North Carolina. They knew that Chaddock could do something for their child. They wanted so desperately for their child to get well, and that's why they brought them to Chaddock. Alex's counselor, one of his counselors, she shared a story with me. There's always stories, especially with our kids. They can be there as young as 6. Like I said, Alex was 8 years old. They typically are with us between 6 months and 18 months. Alex was coming up on over a year with us. But I asked his counselor, were there any stories that really stuck out with him? And she described this time that she took him to Dairy Queen, the local Dairy Queen restaurant, and they were sitting there. It was a nice day, so they were outside on the patio, and they were eating their ice cream, and she was trying to have some breakthroughs with him, and he wasn't exactly, communicative. At 8 years old, you don't say much, but especially with his background, he wasn't saying much. And just out of nowhere, he looked at her and said, "I don't know why I hit my mom." If you're not familiar with Chaddock, we treat children that have been victims of abuse and neglect. Children that in their young adolescent lives have been introduced to some very traumatic experiences. And as you know, children, they oftentimes don't have a say in their circumstances or the matter. His counselor that day said, "You know what, buddy, I don't know why you did either, but we're going to figure that out. That's why you're here. That's what we're going to do. That's my job. Let's just finish our ice cream. We're going to figure that out." See, we made some promises to Alex and his family when they arrived on the campus of Chaddock. We promised we'd keep him safe. We promised we'd never give up on him, no matter what he did or what he said. We promised that Chaddock would be his home and that we would make it as comfortable and as therapeutic for him as we could. Folks, with your support, with people just like you, in congregations and churches and civic groups across the state, we have been able to fulfill that promise. I'm asking you today to help us do better. People are usually amazed when they come to our campus. A lot of you who raised your hands, you're familiar with the campus. It's a 30-acre campus right in the middle of Quincy. It butts up next to a park. It's oftentimes you can't differentiate between the park and Chaddock. It's so beautiful, especially right now with the flowers blooming and trees budding. 50 children live with us. It is a residential program. 50 children live there on campus. I mentioned the area community schools that sometimes bus their kids there as well. Our cottages are their home away from home. Cottages are like the dorms. And over the years, thousands, literally thousands, folks, of children, just like Alex, have left their marks on our hearts. They have also left them on the walls. They have also left them on the floors and the furniture and the bed units. That is why we are planning an effort to renovate and upgrade the living environments of our kids. And we are calling this effort Transforming Spaces, Transforming Lives, Renewing the Promise at Chaddock. You see, at Chaddock, we provide world-class therapy to our clients, just like Alex and his family. And our facilities should reflect the quality of the work we do. Because of you and your support, our campus school is world-class. The Knowledge Center that I mentioned earlier, that's world-class. But currently, our kids' cottages, where they live, the dorms, those spaces, folks, they don't fully reflect that quality, that level of standard that we have for them. It has been decades since our 5 residential cottages have been thoroughly upgraded. As with any home over time, furniture in the living room and other common areas of our cottages has worn, flooring has frayed or split, walls have faded, beds, wardrobes, bookcases, and desks in the bedrooms have outlived their life expectancy. Replacing all of this, folks, will be an enormous undertaking, but our kids are worth it. So that is precisely what we are going to do. In addition to the cottage upgrades, the Transforming Spaces campaign will actually renew our pavilion. If anybody's been on campus before, that is our picnic area. Kids hold barbecues, especially this time of year. It's a meeting place for when volunteers come on campus. We've also got a over 50-year-old sign on 24th Street there. We aim to upgrade that as well. Think how great it would be if kids like Alex and his family came to visit and we could put on there, "Welcome, Alex. Thank you for visiting." It would be very, very welcoming for people like him. You know what? It might just be easier. I know I've been talking a lot about the upgrades and whatnot. It might be easier to show you. Russ, could you show that video that we've got playing for everyone, please?
Chaddock children come everything they need for healing, including effective therapy with loving staff in a safe, home-like environment. However, thousands of children living in our cottages through the years has taken its toll. That's why we're asking you to financially support our Transforming Spaces, Transforming Lives campaign to help renovate our children's home away from home. New bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings, flooring, paint, and other improvements will help us fulfill the promises made.
Investing in furniture really going to show the kids that we're investing in them as well. You know, the old saying that if things look good, you feel good. We can show our kids that we do want the best for them while they're here.
When we started this whole process of looking at the milieu, the living environment, we reached out to researchers and talked to them about paint colors, flooring, different types of furniture and how it feels, how it looks, and how all of that leads to, you know, positive and successful treatment trajectory for the kids and the families.
Just as we make promises to the children in our care, they promise us to fight every day to overcome the obstacles they have and leave the pain of their past behind them.
Our donors really have an opportunity to feed into the promise that is our kids, the future that is our kids. They have an opportunity to sure, buy a chair, but so much more than that. It's really providing the sense of value to our kids.
I hope you'll support our effort to transform spaces, transform lives, and renew the promise at Chaddock. For more information, please contact the Chaddock Children's Foundation.
Thank you, Russ. As Ryan Brown said in the video, when things look good, you feel good. Renewing the spaces our kids live in doesn't just make them feel good, it shows them that they are worth the investment. It goes back to something one of our senior therapists once told me. We don't just show our kids that we love them. You see, showing them that we love them is easy, right? We show them that they are lovable. That's a lot harder. That's where the therapy starts. That's where the healing begins. Folks, the total cost of this, of all these improvements, it's a pretty big amount. It's $700,000. The foundation is responsible for many, many things. This capital campaign is one of them. But how do we get there, folks? We get there together. We get there through congregations and churches and groups just like this. And that's why we're coming to you today to ask for your help. Our kids are so excited about this project. Staff at Chaddock are excited. Donors and businesses alike are excited. So transforming spaces is critical. Renewing the promise at Chaddock is too. Like I said earlier, when a child comes to Chaddock, promises are made. See, we made promises to Alex and his family. Alex promised us he'd do his part. His family promised us they'd do their part. We promise you that every dollar sent to Chaddock will be put to use, good use, for our kids. Your support to us is a promise that our ministry will continue to grow and to thrive. We all work hard to make sure that happens and renew that promise every single day. Going back to Alex's graduation party, the day that he got to go home, back to his loving family, I started looking around, and there were a lot of people working hard. There was counselors and therapists and nurses and instructors and teachers. I work hard too in my job there too, but looking around the room and looking at Alex's face, I realized that nobody was working harder than Alex. The reason Alex was at his graduation party was because of the work that he had put in. It didn't happen alone, it happened together. But Alex did the bulk of the work there. What we're asking for you today is to help us renew that promise. We can get there together. We know we can. We've got some tremendous support thus far, and I thank you for your support towards the children at Chaddock. In front of you, inside your bulletin, you'll see some information on how to get involved. Please take that with you. We want everybody to have as much information as you can. Go to our website. There's a QR code in there. There's a mail-to address in there as well. We cannot thank you enough for the support that you have given to us over the years. It's simply amazing. In my short time with Chaddock, we've been able to come into congregations like this and speak. And when I say, has anybody heard of Chaddock? Most everybody raises their hands. That's powerful. That is so, so amazing. Our children see that investment that you've made every single day, and we thank you. On behalf of the children that we serve, thank you very much.